Jennifer is a member of the Montana Public Service Commission. She served the people of Montana as a state senator from 2012 to 2020. She's also the CEO of the American Lands Council, an organization desiring a lawful, peaceful path to better, more accountable management of our public lands and natural resources. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jennifer Fielder.
On the road again. Just can't get up on that road again.
Hello everybody, my name is Jennifer Fielder and I am an avid outdoors woman from the state of Montana. When I was a state senator, I chaired a federal study, or a study of federal lands. And what I found out is we have a very big problem. And it begins with this map. The red areas are federally owned lands in the United States. And over half of all those lands are owned by the federal government, are controlled by Washington, D.C., thousands of miles away. Right here, you can see a forest, a typical forest in Montana, and there's a property line dividing the ownership. The left half is federally controlled, the right half is locally controlled. The federal side is neglected, it's diseased, dead and dying timber, it's a very high fire risk, and it's a huge liability economically, environmentally, and socially. The right side is an actively managed working forest. It's got active timber management that's reduced the fuel loads, reduced the fire threat, and it's an asset economically, socially, and environmentally. And I've got a news flash for you all. Climate change did not cause this. It comes down to management. And this is a close-up of a national forest where, unfortunately, protected usually means neglected. Instead of allowing a little bit of logging and grazing to help manage the fuel loads in our national forests, what's happening is most of these forests are becoming dense and overgrown and unhealthy, and they are catastrophic wildfires waiting to happen. This is a chart of the acres burned in the western states over the last 100 years or so, and you can see in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, and 70s that when logging and grazing were prevalent, relatively fewer acres were burned. But ever since these strict federal protections began being implemented in the 1970s and 80s, we've seen a dramatic increase in the number of acres burned. For decades, the federal government has been finding excuses to lock it up and let it burn, even when it makes no sense at all. They even went so far as to block Montana's firefighting helicopters from going in and putting out fires on federal land because they said that our helicopters that travel faster, carry more water, and have a perfect safety record were not on the federal government's list of approved equipment. And so instead of allowing the fires to be put out when they're small and controllable, the federal government frequently lets them rage into massive disasters. And the trees aren't the only thing that are being harmed. Millions of animals are being burned alive in these fires every single year, like this bear cub that barely made it out, and this mountain lion that didn't, and these mother cows that went into the fire to gather up their calves to get them out of harm's way. And if the big animals can't outrun these fires, what do you think is happening to all the little ones? It's a crying shame that the majority of Americans are allowing this to happen. Because we all want healthy air, water, and wildlife, and we all want abundant outdoor recreation and safe, vibrant communities. But our environment is not a museum, and hands-off, don't touch federal protections do not work. We need to treat our environment more like a garden, because when you have people with local knowledge who care, you get better results. Federal protection has increasingly given us piles of dead trees. and miles of huge fires, and skies filled with dirty air, and streams filled with polluted water, and decimated wildlife, and blocked access, and economically devastated, depressed, unsafe communities. But when it comes to our federal lands, there's a better path. We need to entrust our public lands to local management that knows and cares. We need to transfer federal lands to willing states for better access, health, and productivity. And this whole concept is based on the simple premise that you tend to get better decisions when they're made by people closer to the subject matter. Has the transfer of public lands to states been done before? Yes, it has. In fact, Western states currently own and control 40 million acres of public lands, and they manage them responsibly. Can states afford to do this? Yes. When it comes to public land management, the states outperform the federal government by 10 to 1 or better. And how do we do it right? Please support the American Lands Council and our efforts to pass the National State Lands Act so states can acquire lands incrementally at their own pace, so promises to keep it public are kept, so states coordinate with counties to strengthen and include local voices, so that mineral grazing and water rights are truly honored and protected, and so that revenues from these lands can stay within the states and pay for management. And in the end, it's a win-win-win. State, federal, and local governments all do better when we manage lands responsibly. Federal control of our western lands is not working. Transfer is the answer. It's the only solution big enough. And we need you, every one of you, to learn more and join us at AmericanLandsCouncil.org. Exit this way.
Isn't Jennifer wonderful? Friends, the Western Conservative Summit is very unique. I go to a lot of conservative conferences all over this country. But what gives us a tremendous opportunity is to be able to talk about these issues. They don't talk about these issues at the other conservative conferences. We talk about it because it's close, it's in our backyard, it's in our neighborhood. Thank you, Jennifer. You've done a wonderful job. We're very grateful for you.
We certainly appreciate Western Conservative Summit, CCU, and Centennial Institute. Thank you for giving us the stage to share this important message.
Great. Thank you. Let's give Jennifer another round of applause.